Hi, it's Anthony Parent from IRS Medic, One Team Legal and Tax. Look, I get it. Nobody wants to think about estate planning. But if you're the kind of person who's using AI or Googling free will template at 2 o'clock in the morning, this video is for you. Because the do-it-yourself route, it's a little bit of a minefield, and I'm about to walk you through 5 of the biggest mistakes I see people make that can turn a $300 shortcut into a $3 million disaster. Well, the first mistake that I see, thinking that you found the perfect plan online. You print it, cite it in your kitchen, maybe your neighbor scribbles their name as a witness. Done, right? Wrong. Most states have very specific rules about witnesses, notarization, and even the type of pen you use. I've seen wills tossed out because the witness was the beneficiary's spouse, or the notary stamped the wrong page. Your family's left fighting in probate court while the state decides who gets what, all because you assumed good enough was legally binding. It's not. Second mistake, well, you're a hot mess. And I say that with love. People procrastinate on estate planning because they can't get organized, which I understand, but there are firms like mine that will help you get organized. Third mistake, treating death like the only trigger. Disability is way more likely and can be much harder to deal with. What if you're alive but can't make decisions? Who pays the bills? Who fights the nursing home trying to drain your accounts? You need powers of attorney, healthcare directives, and an elder care plan. Threading the needle between a bulletproof estate plan and a Medicaid long-term plan, that's not do-it-yourself territory at all. That's where the real pros earn their keep. Think about this. I've seen happily married couples with totally different estate and elder care plans. There's not even a one-size-fits-all solution in a family. Fourth mistake, ignoring the global nature of the upcoming great wealth transfer. Americans own $20 trillion of property overseas, and there is $35 trillion worth of investments in the US made by non-US persons. Not understanding that it is quite easy for assets to be both interstate and international has never been greater, and the problems can be massive. Fifth mistake, the basics. Not actually funding the trust, so the trust fails as it owns nothing, or it will create a massive penalty exposure because no trust return was filed when required. Here's a story. Dave gave me a call this summer. He got a letter from probate court in Texas claiming that he was an heir of his parents' estate. He told me he wasn't sure what to do because he wanted nothing to do with it. Dave's parents had a full-service restaurant business. It did quite well for years, creating profits that created an enviable real estate portfolio in Texas and in California. However, in 2014, things took a turn for the worse. Dave's mom managed the business and started suffering from dementia. Soon, bills weren't being paid and the IRS was on them for unpaid taxes. And Dave told me his parents didn't hire a tax attorney or CPA, but rather dealt with the IRS one-on-one and refused to discuss their financial problems with their own children. Well, the IRS case did not go well at all. Dave's parents wound up with millions in income and payroll taxes. Now, I'm fairly confident with proper representation, they would owe a fraction of that, but because they used a do-it-yourself will kit, they actually had no asset protection. If they got a great plan, their $3 million assets would have been fully protected for their benefit and their children, even though they bungled the IRS case. However, Dave's mom passed first and then his father with no real plan in place. I explained to Dave that there was little I could do. Assets could not be protected after the fact. So Dave sent a letter to the probate court explaining there was no reason to include him. He knew there would be nothing for him and his brother, both of whom could have really used that inheritance much more than the government. With a do-it-yourself plan, the government may be the biggest winner. Do-it-yourself kits are designed to look simple, but tax and estate law, they are among the 2 most complicated areas of law put together during the most difficult times of life. A $300 shortcut today can cost your family $3 million tomorrow. Well, you want to know if your plan passes the sniff test? I put together a very simple checklist. Grab it in the description. It takes 5 minutes, but could save you a fortune. And before you click away, watch my next video, Non-US Owners and the Estate Tax Trap. It's the #1 mistake global families make with US assets. You don't want to miss this. This is the lesson that you could learn the hard way. Better learn it before that. Hit the link, save the checklist, and I'll see you in the next video.